11 Scotland players line up in the center circle of a pitch in Tallinn. They kick off. The ball moves about 2 yards. Then the referee blows his whistle, and the match is over. 3 seconds. That is the entire game. Because the other half of the pitch is empty. Completely empty. Estonia are not there. Not injured. Not delayed. Not stuck in traffic somewhere across town. They are a few miles away, and they are not coming. In the stand, a few thousand Scotland fans who have flown across Europe for this slowly work out what they are looking at. They start to sing. One team in Tallinn. There's only one team in Tallinn. It becomes one of the most famous songs in Scottish football, and it is about a match that never actually happened. What usually gets left out is that Estonia had a point. October the 9th, 1996. Qualifying for the World Cup in France, and Scotland need results. They fly into Tallinn to play at the Qualifier Stadium, kick off 6:45 in the evening. On paper, the most routine away trip of the campaign. Then somebody looks at the floodlights. Qualifier doesn't have floodlights. Not permanent ones. What it has for this match is a set of lamps bolted to the backs of trucks, driven in, parked around the edge of the pitch and pointed inwards. Scotland go out to train the night before, under the lights they are meant to play under. What they find is a pitch lit in patches, bright in places, close to dark in others, with corners of the field where you genuinely cannot see the ball. Craig Brown, the Scotland manager, decides his players cannot safely play a World Cup qualifier under that, and complains to FIFA. Teams complain about away venues constantly, about the pitch, the hotel, the food, and almost none of it ever goes anywhere. This does. FIFA send an inspector out that same evening, and he agrees. The lighting is not good enough for an international match. So FIFA make a decision, and everything that follows comes out of it. They do not postpone the game. They do not move it to another stadium. They move it forward to 3 o'clock the following afternoon, so it can be played in daylight. That call is made the night before the match. Now, Estonia in 1996 are not a full-time football team, and this is the part that changes how the whole story reads. The country is 5 years out of the Soviet Union. The national side has only been playing again for a few years. Most of the squad have jobs. And on the eve of the game, they are not in Tallinn at all. They are at a training camp, a long drive outside the city. Everything is built around a 7 o'clock kickoff. The travel, the television coverage, every ticket that has been sold, and the plan for a country of 1.5 million people to watch the biggest home fixture of its season. With a few hours' notice, they are told the game is now at 3 in the afternoon. They say no. So at 3 o'clock, Scotland walk out onto the pitch at Qualifier in full kit. The referee, Miroslav Radoman of Yugoslavia, walks out with them. There are a few thousand traveling supporters, a handful of photographers, an empty half of a football pitch, and one team. Radoman starts the match anyway. Billy Dodds touches the ball sideways to John Collins. Collins takes 1 step. Whistle. Abandoned. 3 seconds. To this day, nothing in the history of World Cup football has been shorter. And then, at 6:45 that evening, the time the match was originally meant to kick off, Estonia's players arrive at the Qualifier Stadium. The place is empty. Scotland have gone, the referee with them, and the lamps are still sitting on the backs of the trucks around a pitch nobody is going to play on. So Estonia do the only thing left on the schedule. They train. 11 men going through a warm-up on an empty pitch, at the exact hour a World Cup qualifier was supposed to be kicking off on it. 2 national teams turned up to the same stadium, on the same day, for the same World Cup qualifier, 4 hours apart, and never saw each other. Scotland fly home assuming this is the most straightforward 3 points anybody has ever been given. A national team did not appear for a World Cup qualifier. There is a rule for that, and it is not a complicated rule. Estonia forfeit, Scotland take the win, everyone moves on. FIFA don't do that. FIFA look at the whole sequence, the lamps on the trucks, the inspection, a kickoff time, move the night before a game, and decide that Estonia were put in a position nobody had given them a fair chance to deal with. Scotland are not awarded the 3 points. The match is ordered to be replayed at a neutral venue. Scotland are furious. They had turned up. They had kicked off. As far as they are concerned, they did everything that was asked of them, and it has earned them nothing at all. But the ruling stands. A fixture that has, in a sense, already been played now has to be played again, somewhere neither side has any claim to. Which is how, 4 months later, on the 11th of February 1997, A World Cup qualifier between Estonia and Scotland kicks off in Monaco. Stade Louis II. Monte Carlo, one of the wealthiest square miles on Earth, hosting a rearranged qualifier between Scotland and Estonia in February, watched by a few hundred people in a stadium that holds 18,000. It finishes 0-0. So the trucks, the inspector, the empty half of the pitch, the 3-second match, an empty stadium 4 hours later, the ruling, the argument, and a flight to the south of France. All of it, in the end, produces 1 point each. Scotland qualify for the World Cup anyway. Estonia go home. Nearly 30 years later, almost nobody remembers what the replay finished, or who won the group, or why there were lamps bolted to the back of a lorry in Tallinn in the first place. What they remember is 11 men kicking off against nobody, and a song about it, still sung today, by supporters who were not born when it happened. So who was actually in the wrong here? FIFA, for moving a World Cup qualifier the night before it was played, or Estonia, for refusing to turn up? Let me know in the comments. And subscribe, because the next one is even harder to believe.